tuning in. BeatStars has just hit a huge accomplishment with our $100 million paid out to our creators. So we thought there would be nothing better that we can do than talk to the man, the myth, the legend that is Abe Batshon, our CEO and founder of BeatStars. So Abe, the first question I really wanted to ask is, what does this milestone mean for our community, and what does it mean to you as the founder and CEO of this platform?
This means so much. It means so much. First of all, congratulations to everyone in our community, from the recording artists that are licensing beats for their projects to the music producers that are building their e-commerce businesses on our platform using our technology. This means the world to me, because this big of a market, when we first built BeatStars 12 years ago, I never thought we would reach the $100 million earn mark for our creators. It's just a testament to everyone working so collectively hard across the board, from not just the BeatStars staff and engineers and marketing people and support people, but also the music producers and recording artists that are taking their careers super serious, and committing to investing in their careers and committing to really dream big. Really dream big. There's just so many proud moments, throughout this whole journey that I can recollect, but it's all just honestly, it's overwhelming. It's like overwhelming to know that I'm the CEO of a company that's helped kind of expand this new economy, that's helped provide new opportunities for independent creators around the world. But it was just, it's so cool that we did it collectively with our community, building this with them step by step, it's just amazing. It's amazing to know that, of course you look at the financial kind of like element to this, where $100 million was generated, like the number, but the human element is just so much more important. Every single day I get messages from people in our community talking about Abe, thank you for you and your team for building this platform for us to make a living from anywhere in the world, for us to collaborate with people anywhere in the world. Art and music is so precious and so important to each individual creator, and if we can just be a small part of the journey of how their songs are created, or how people meet each other and how people collaborate each other, that may impact their lives, in so many different ways. Like, that's, to me, more important than any number out there. It's, we brought people together.
Mm-hmm.
We brought people together that necessarily would not have necessarily come together.
Yeah.
Friendships were made, songs were made, classic songs, charting songs. We impacted the whole music industry together as a community, and it's such a beautiful accomplishment. And even though I'm Jasmine, I always tell you, like, I don't get hung up on like achievements, but you have to stop and just like think about what we all did together as a community, and be proud of what we've all done. But at the end, tomorrow starts the new journey, to 1 billion.
1 billion pages. Yeah, the way that this community is moving, that's going to be sometime soon. But it's
True.
Cool. Like you said, it's not a BeatStars accomplishment, though. There's a lot on the back end that has gone into making the platform as successful as it is. But it's really telling the story of the creators, this number. It represents, like you said, lives changed, good music made, friendships formed, and I'm really excited about it. I know that BeatStars has been around now for over a decade, and I'm curious, and I know there's a lot of memories probably flooding through your head, but what are some of your most proud moments with the community that you feel like things that they've accomplished, or just something that's made you just feel really excited about being able to work with this community of producers and artists?
Yeah, I think the most proud moments, of course, you always, as a product person, you're always like, okay, what product am I going to build that's going to change people's lives, like in a real positive way? Like, how is it really going to impact people in their workflows and stuff? So I think I'm always proud of all the products I've created, every single feature and product that, oh man, that even though it was built together as a team, but the product itself, all came from here. And for me, just from my personal achievements, to know that mass amount of people are using my products, my creations, is super, like, what's the word, like, I don't know, just so appreciative of that, right? Just so thankful that people would respond that way to the things you make. But also the other proudest moment is multiple moments where I get to actually, like, physically see and talk and meet and hug and hang out with, like, our users, our members, our creators, artists, producers in various different cities around the world. Like, for me, that provides me, like, the biggest high, to know that you're putting a face to the things that you're making. There's a face to this music. There's a family to this music. There's a family associated to this. There's so many things that are not in the digital world that there's, like, this reverberating effect. So yeah, it's those are things that stick out to me. Also some of the other biggest, proudest moments, honestly, for me, like, and this is probably, our community doesn't know, is the people I get to work with. Like, I so proud to be able to work with people like you and other folks in the team, and, like, assemble together and all push this mountain up together. Like, we're all just, like, all hands are pushing up this boulder, and we make these incremental kind of, like, achievements every single day. But it's for the longest time, I felt alone doing this, even though I had, Joe Aguilar, who was our first engineer, and then followed on by, Danny Alawal and Mike Trampy, and, like, those first few years, it was a very, very small team. And even though I love being with those guys, because those guys, went through the mud with me, but it's just super cool to see the team expand to over 50 people globally, and have really, like, we're really building this army, this army of just really good folks that love what they do. They're passionate about passionate about their careers. And they also, some of you guys believe in BeatStars more than I do. And it's like, it's really refreshing to experience this with all of you guys, because it'd be really horrible if it was just me.
Well, no, you've built something great. And I think just speaking on behalf of somebody who works at BeatStars, I can honestly say you've built a team of people who really care. This isn't just a job for us. We see what BeatStars can do and how it can change people's lives, and we treat every day accordingly, and making sure we do stuff that really adds value and can continue to enhance people's lives and change more people's lives. But that's a perfect segue into my next question.
Well, I want to add one thing, Jasmine.
Okay.
I think when you said, like, what are some of the other, like, proudest moments, is that you guys, the team, the community, the way I feel about, like, building this technology that's impacting so many people's lives, you guys impacted my life, in such, like, big ways, like, that's also, it's like that yin and yang, that given, that, you know,
Yeah.
it's like you, when you try to have purpose, you wake up every day and you have this like solitary purpose, to just help people at scale, you know. And when you do that, and then the universe provides that love and appreciation back to me, and like, and to the team, and just to everyone, at the company, like you guys have changed my life. And when I wake up, you know, every day, and I still, you know, reiterate that purpose for myself every single day. Like I have to, you know, it's all because of that constant relationship that we have with each other. You guys impact my life, you know, and vice versa. So
Yeah, there's no shortage of love from this community, from the people on the back end of BeatStars to the community that uses the platform. It's like an ever going cycle of like positivity and encouragement and belief. And it's cool because, like you said, even just being on the team, just seeing the things that people are doing and the positive messages that they have to say to us and the little things that they notice when we change, it's like,
yeah.
it's the constant community of support. So,
And you know what else I'm also so proud of is like there's members on the platform that have become millionaires or close to being millionaires, right? And I keep in really close touch with so many people in our community. And 12 years, and maybe I'm just not in the know, but 12 years, and usually people that come across that kind of wealth over time, you know, well, for our community, it's like it happened over time. It was a gradual accumulation of wealth for each member. Um, Everyone really used their earnings and their businesses that they built in a very like really responsible way for just society as a whole. You know, I never heard any like wild and crazy stories where people in our community were like irresponsible, and just like threw everything away. You know, I think, it's so beautiful to work with other entrepreneurs on the platform that appreciate and value the businesses that they built, and want to have like, they value longevity, security, and stability over just like the instant gratification that having that kind of wealth can do, you know.
yeah, you got to play the long game when it comes to this. And I feel like it's even reflected in the business, like the business side of things for BeatStars. This isn't 100 million that's happened overnight. It's been,
Mm.
I'm sure, months and hours and days. Probably should have done that the other way around, but of just hard work and sweat and ideating and brainstorming and failing and succeeding.
Oh,
So I'm sure you can relate kind of to that journey that the producers are on that got us here.
yeah, for sure, for
Well, I'm
sure.
curious, like, you know, we've hit this 100 million milestone and we've talked about kind of like the BeatStars team and the community. I'm curious how this has inspired you to create new products, to expand new products. We're obviously, like you said, we're in the next phase. We've kind
Mm.
of grown out of this beginning phases and we're on to bigger and better. And how does this milestone help kind of reinvigorate that feeling in you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of weird. It feels like BeatStars was built for today, right? When you really think about like how companies, meet need meet need and demand for any market, normally happens, you know, in the prime of the demand, and then, you know, and then that's when like, you know, things kind of flourish. But because we were kind of like 12 years 12, 12 years kind of like ahead of the game, I felt like I didn't know that it was all in preparation for today. It was all in preparation for today. So today excites me more than ever, right?
Yeah.
Today excites me more than ever that, you know, the more and more avenues and channels our community members, our creators have to like increase their business and build their business, and collaborate and make music, and the more channels of visibility for their content, I mean, every single day. And the more, emerging markets, emerging like countries, music markets that are entering into kind of like the global digital music space, changes too. So like 12 years ago, we wouldn't be talking about BeatStars having a huge presence in India, right?
Sure.
Or in Ghana, or in Vietnam, or, you know, like, so it's like 12 years ago, you know, we weren't really thinking about, like, well, I was, but just like, I didn't think the possibilities of like a global kind of service that um, solved the problem would continue to evolve and grow. But as every month or every 6 months, we evaluate and we see how much more community members we're impacting in different countries, and there's still so many other countries that still need to be kind of like disrupted with their music making workflow, that continues to inspire me. That continues to tell me, like, okay, Abe, yeah, okay, great, BeatStars has solved the US collaboration problem. We've solved that, and now let's focus on other territories that don't really have good established music industry practices, even, in a sense, too. So like, there's some countries that love having a stronghold over their musician community because of how their music industry is built. There's not much democratization. There's not much freedom. There's not much DIY. There's not much entrepreneur building in so many countries. And so because BeatStars is so global and available everywhere, that we're breaking the mold of even some country structures that are, you know, impacting people in their society, you know. So just to know that there's people kind of limited and marginalized at somewhere. There's people in our community that are limited and marginalized where they're from, where they live, continues to kind of wake me up every day to kind of fight for those folks, you know.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where we go in the next few years. I know we have really big plans, especially like you mentioned, to really hone in and support the global community of creators truly as it relates to each country and every story. So I'm excited to.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, like just looking at the analytics each week, seeing countries continue to pop up, and it's like, wow, I never would have imagined that this is a top market for online beat selling, but it's surprising. Everybody's
Yeah.
rising, and I think BeatStars has definitely already put that footprint out there for the community, and now we're going to enhance it over the next years and going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, what has been the most surprising thing along this journey to the 100 million paid out? Because I'm sure you've seen a lot and have experienced a lot in this journey. Has there been one thing in particular that's been just maybe not something that you expected in a either good or bad way?
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing, really, which to me isn't surprising, but to the music industry experts, it's surprising that how much of an impact the online beatmaker community is making on these big commercial releases that are coming out in the industry, um, in the traditional industry, right? So knowing that when I see an album come out and I recognize 90% of the producers on a release, right? And those folks did not start in the traditional way of like licensing music, to know that building their e-commerce business and building so much attention and awareness around their brand and business online, resulted in impacting the industry as a whole, right? To me, I'm assuming that, you know, that's surprising to some, because when you think about kids on the internet, right? The kids on the internet making music, you don't really think about them in a professional manner, but, you know, from a traditional business sense, right? But to
Right.
me, the kids on the internet are the most disruptive. They're the most innovative. They're the most forward thinking. They're the most entrepreneurial. They're the most, they encompass everything. They encompass everything that you would want to, with all the qualities of a successful like creator, you know, that throughout the last, I don't know, 40, 50 years of traditional music producers that only had one skill set, right? Only had like kind of like one skill set of just making beats or just, you know, writing songs. But to see that the online community has kind of like focused and invested in all of these other skill sets that make them even more disruptive. It's just amazing to see. It's just amazing to see how, when everyone used to say, listen to the kids, like these are the young people that are molding the sound of the globe. And we all know that, how embedded music is in our DNA. And to say that young people, like, to think about, like, I'm 39, right? Like, if I were to say, oh my God, I'm at 17 years old or 16 years old, I'd be impacting the music sound in the UK or in Germany, or I'd be, like, to think about how young the creator class is now, and how big of just how big they're changing things. It's just super cool. It's just super cool to see that. And I think that's where we have to go as like a global world community, like, just and I hope other industries follow that. I hope other industries empower people to become more entrepreneurial, and build this kind of like gig economy and expand it even more. It's already happening. Like, when you think about it, like, you have the Airbnbs of today, you have the Ubers of today, all these like gig economy platforms that are powering people to kind of like work for themselves. And to know that BeatStars was part of the beginning of the gig economy in 2008, when no one was even thinking about doing those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Just a testament to trying to always think forward and stay ahead of the game, because it can be hard entering in oversaturated markets. And so you can be forward thinking enough and innovative enough, which obviously, like you mentioned, this generation creativity is at a peak. And I don't know if that's partially because of the opportunities in this digital era, but trying to stay ahead of the game. So
if you truly are about people empowerment, right? If you're truly about it, you have to step out from, like, I have to do this all the time. I have to step out of this executive role. I have to step out of it and really ask myself, how would I want to empower myself if I'm a 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old songwriter, or music producer, right? And if you're not coming up with things that you're thinking about that you would want to empower yourself with, then that's not going to translate into your it's not going to translate into your business. So
yeah.
I think there's companies out there that prioritize that part of their kind of like operation, and there's some that still want to have this, still want to be the gatekeeper. They still want to be kind of like have a stranglehold of how their businesses and their people operate.
Yeah, power is in the creator and the community. I want to know, what are you in this kind of next phase of BeatStars wanting to see from our BeatStars community?
Yeah, I mean, I think continue to do what we're doing. Continue to do what we're doing. Like, we're seeing beats production used in almost every single industry, whether it's film, TV, video games, commercials. We're seeing art, even with like viral TikToks, social media moments, like the beat is kind of like the engine for almost everything, for almost like just every piece of content that's being created. And we know that content is not going to stop being created. If anything, content is going to be scaled times 1,000 within the next like 5 to 10 years. So if we think Netflix's output today is the standard, we better start thinking wrong, like, because there's just now there's just too many ways that people are consuming content. And sometimes people are consuming content indirectly and they don't even know they're consuming it, right? And the producers, and how nimble and how versatile they are able to attack into every their intellectual property can be utilized in almost everything, And so our goal over the next, few years is to make sure that BeatStars is a hub where any applicable use any applicable use of beats and music is going to be discovered on our platform. So if you're a podcaster and you need background music, if you're a video creator on YouTube that's creating independent film, this is where so if you're putting together a wedding video, like, I don't know, like, it's like, I just feel like the use case for BeatStars is, limitless,
Yeah.
and we need to be forward thinking, and we need to be communicating with all of these big content platforms like TikTok and whoever it is that's like, emerging, the Netflixes of the world. And BeatStars' goal is to like establish long-term relationships with these folks, so our community members have more opportunities to see where their beat can go.
Yeah, and it'll also kind of challenge producers to do more than just create music for songs. Like you said, little tracks for backgrounds and things like that.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
With that being said, I guess just to kind of wrap up this portion, talking about the 100 million campaign, obviously we have a community of 2 million plus creators. Some of you guys have been with us since the beginning. Some of you new, some of you have contributed to that a couple dollars, some of you thousands, and all of it, we appreciate you the same. And so, Abe, I just want to hear your thoughts or appreciation that you have for the community on this milestone.
Yeah, man, BeatStars didn't make a penny from that 100 million, right? So it's like, we're so proud to like pass through this $100 million to our creators, but we're talking about it as if, BeatStars, this is accomplishment for BeatStars, but it even though technically it wasn't a financial accomplishment for us as a company, but I'm more proud than any other creator on the platform, because it just means so much. It just means so much because there's just so much substance, there's so much meaning behind that milestone, and the way it's like affected people's lives. So it's just so cool to be successful as a company, as an entrepreneur, and say, yes, we are successful, and 100% of that revenue passed through back to our creators, where it was deserving so too. It was deserving so too. So it just shows that when you build a great relationship with your consumer, and you listen to their needs, and you build products and things that are going to be used like evergreen, like all the time, and you establish a healthy relationship from the get-go. There's only like one way, but like up, because now you're treating your product in a way of service, and it's not about kind of like the bottom line, even though thank God our community has invested into paying us our monthly membership fees, and we're able to operate and to thrive and do all the things that we want to do. But it's just such a great working relationship that that just works for everybody.
Yeah, it's cool that we've built a community and you've built a business model where everybody can win. It doesn't require being greedy. Like you said, we can pass through 100% of that revenue to creators and still be successful. So that actually is kind of perfect, because I wanted to ask you about the background of this Pay the Creators campaign and what inspired it and what it means to you.
Yeah, so the Pay the Creators campaign, guys, if anyone knows, the marketing team brought this vision. Jasmine, Aaron, wanted to start a campaign that was centered around, for years we used to tweet, pay the producer, we used to like spark, like, make sure you pay your producers, but it's also the recording artists too, make sure the recording artists get paid too. So we wanted to like, just make it more universal, and this pay to creators campaign is more about just like, yo, a call to all companies out there, the digital streaming services, the record labels, the publishing companies, a call to everyone out there to sit back and really appreciate and value your clients' as products. Really, really, really put a premium on all of your clients' products and intellectual property. I believe there is no reason to continue to devalue people's work, people's hard-earned, just like their creations. There's just no reason, and we've proven that. You know, even when BeatStars first started, people were like, "Whoa, hold on, no way! You're selling beats for $20 a pop? No, you're gonna ruin the economy." But people failed to see like the rest of the story behind that. It wasn't that initial $20 price point. Is that we made sure that the power went back to the creator, where that $20 was triggered 1,000 times, because of the non-exclusive licensing model that we introduced. So it's like that $20 is actually 20,000. It's actually 100,000 per product, right? And in today's like fraction of a penny world that we live in, with media consumption and how creators are being paid, I feel like all of these things were just like unnecessary to like be forced upon the community. But I think for us, we could speak a little differently, and maybe it was necessary for songs to have to go down that path, so there's a much larger audience and a much bigger pool of opportunity, which is okay. But I think from the song creation standpoint, when you want to buy a piece of gear for your studio, you're not paying fractions and fractions of a penny, right? Each producer that created your beat probably used thousands of dollars of gear just to make that sound, and not to also mention the intellectual property, the uniqueness of these pieces of production, right? Which you cannot really put a value on. You cannot really put a price tag on. And so I hope I answered that, where it basically, this pay to creators campaign is to remove the guilt, to invest in other people, to support other people, right? But in a very like responsible way. Nothing has to be outrageous. We're not starting a war between this person and that person. We just want to make sure we're establishing a sense of respect,
Yeah.
just like a sense of respect for each other. And I think that's always been in our DNA. It's who we are. It's like we respect our recording artists and songwriters just as much as we respect our music producers on the platform. And I think that's what's created this like beautiful harmony on BeatStars, is that there's just this mutual respect. Like, I'm a songwriter, right? From me, people think, oh, BeatStars was built by a music producer. Hell no. You think, like, when you really think about it, like, do you think a music producer can build tools that are really tailored and catered for the songwriter community?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. It's not going to happen. Music producers most times when they make a beat, they think it's the hottest shit, and the beat that they don't think is the hottest shit ends up being like the top selling beat in their catalog. So there is different parts of the creator's brains that have to work in order for this harmony to be successful. And so establishing respect, establishing fair price points, establishing the ability with BeatStars to get paid at the point of transaction to your own merchant accounts, not waiting for a year to get paid, 6 months, whatever it is. Like, these are products that are sold today, consumed today. You should be paid for it today. And so this pay to creators is all about transparency, respect, opening up conversation to have uncomfortable conversations, because sometimes they're needed. It's needed, and addressing the things that like need to be changed, and putting together forth like a plan of action that helps everybody involved.
Yeah. I think, like you mentioned, it's important to know that this isn't centered around negativity or drama or a battle. It's really, like you said, inspiring that conversation where creators are valued as the creations that they make. And like you said, it's uncomfortable discussion. So, people obviously you can see online and things like that have harsher realities and responses to this, but we have found a way as BeatStars for it to be an equal value kind of partnership where the business and the community and have that respect and appreciation, and want to make sure that, that expands outside of, our community and BeatStars. So I'm wondering how you hope to see this.
And guys, and Jasmine, you probably see this too, right? Like the bigger a company gets, the less the further away they're able to like align with their clients' kind of like needs and priorities. It's hard. It's hard. Like Abe's day used to be all about, 24/7 community, talking, building. And even now I find myself a little bit, because of my responsibilities, like laser focused about like just building, building this company. So I can see how over the years, people, companies can lose like that genuine relationship with their creators, with their community members. And so we're just challenging everyone out there that's responsible for the livelihood of all of these creators all over the world to just think about current business models, think about some of the current processes, and open up discussion internally to see if there's an opportunity for change that benefits both parties.
Yeah. 100% agree. I'm excited to see where this campaign goes, and even just starting the discussions. That these kind of changes don't happen overnight, but getting people to start talking about these and having those uncomfortable conversations, I hope it makes an impact. So I guess just to wrap up, I want to say again, congratulations to the community. Like Abe said, this is you guys' money that you've earned, and we get to celebrate with you. And we're appreciative of the partnership and the community that you guys have allowed us to be a part of. And so, Abe, I guess just any last thoughts that you have for the community.
I just wanted to congratulate you guys. I'm so proud of every single person in this community, every single producer, songwriter, engineer, DJ, anyone that has contributed to this ultimate goal. And I'm just amazed at the resilience. I'm amazed at the drive and ambition that you guys have. I'm amazed that I know this is just the beginning for all of you. And I know that there's just so many more bigger goals in store, that are coming ahead of us. And I wanted to thank you guys for changing my life. Thank you for changing my team's life. Thank you for, thank you for impacting, me every single day and giving me purpose every day in my life to wake up and serve you guys. I'm just, man, it's just so cool. It's just so cool to be a part of your guys' story. Even though I may not be in your day-to-day, guys, I'm sitting back afar, just so happy, so proud. And whether you like it or not, like I'm just like, just over here cheering you guys on like the biggest cheerleader ever. And when I see you guys win, it just makes me so happy. Congrats. I mean, cheers to you all. I think, I think for all of the new members on here, that haven't achieved any success yet, just know that every single successful person on the platform started somewhere. And educate yourself, invest in yourself, reach out to us, let us be a resource. We want all of you guys to have, you know, an equal opportunity to achieve all of your dreams. And so if we can play a small part, however small it is, you know, we're here. And yeah, BeatStars, even in this year of 2020 of so much, you know, just darkness, has been a light, has been so positive, and has been, I mean, had our biggest year ever, guys. You know, so there's been a lot of good that's happened this year as well too. I'm just excited to see what 2030 looks like. You know,
Yeah.
2030 looks like, and yeah, I mean,
A lot
congrats, guys.
Yeah, congrats. And for those of you that haven't been tuning in all week, we've been doing a lot of really cool prizes and giveaways and sharing a lot of cool information and resources. So make sure to go to beatstars.world/100-million. And you can check out all of the things that we've been working on, as well as paythecreators.com to learn a little bit more about the campaign and initiative we talked about. But with that being said, Abe, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jasmine.
everybody, for tuning in. And